Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. We now got issue 70 of the Hachette Partworks release of Build the Spitfire Mark 1A. God, it's been ages since we've done that. Look at this, one video for one issue. We haven't done that in a while, have we? But I've been puzzled about what I was going to do today. Now, I have got the Iron Man here. I've got the R2-D2 here. I've got the Eleanor here. I've got loads of builds. But you people have worried me. You've told me how hard issue 70 is. I've had about 7 emails and God knows how many comments I've had. So I thought with these hard ones, we'll probably do it as an individual issue and just see what the actual issues are. Now, if you remember last time, we actually just did the tailplane of the section here with the wheel in of the Spitfire, and I believe we're adding the rudder in this one, which means we're going to have a lot of mechanics and a lot of pins to put in. I think it's the pins that are causing everyone the problem, but I have been worried about it, and it's keeping me sleepless nights thinking how hard can this possibly be. So you know what, before I go on holiday next week, I thought we've got to get this out of the way, so we're going to do that now. So let me show you what we've got to do. So we've got the rudder here, we've got an LED, we've got some little, what are these things called? Trim tabs. There we go, and we've got some sprues. We're going to be cutting some things off. We've got some pins and some little detail parts here. It's going to be interesting. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be attaching all of this bit. Doesn't look too bad. Attaching this just to the rudder, and then we've got these pins going in. Now, is this the problem people are having with? I don't know. We're going to be balancing this in a little bit like we did for the flaps on the wings. Putting an LED in. That looks quite self-explanatory. What we got on here? We're going to be piecing these two bits together, putting a detail on. Perhaps it's this bit, putting the pins on the side. I don't know. We're going to find out. But by the end of it, we're going to have a working rudder. Well, I say working, we need to actually get the motors and lights on it. But that's all there is to do. So let's see how this goes. Now, another reason for doing just the one episode of this is I've just realised that I've had another delivery of the Spitfire today, which got 71, 72, 73, 74. Now, even though I'm getting mine from the newsagents, I want to keep all the videos batched together as if you were a subscriber and you're getting this sent to you. So the next Spitfire video you have will have from 71 to 74 in it. But without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, the first thing we need are these two parts of the trim tab here. We've got lugs in this side, holes in this side. We're actually going to be gluing these together. So I've got some glue just in my little pot here. Going to drop that into the holes. 1 and 2. Again, not too much glue. I'm applying this with my little Archimedes drill here. A lot of people think this is a special tool. It's not. It's just an Archimedes drill with a normal dress pin stuck in the end of it. That's all it is. So, Mrs. World of Wayne doesn't like it because I keep nicking her pins to replace them because they do get glued up now and again. So what I want to do, put these bits together and press them into place. So now we want this rudder part here, which looks like that, because this section here is going to go onto the gap that you can see there. So it's actually just going to fit in like that. Now I'm just seeing if it's got a certain way round it needs to be. The easiest way to orientate this is, as you can see, you've got a little square sort of cutout on that section there. It's that side that you want facing up. So that's just going to go in like that. Now we need a tiny part from the frame. It's this middle one here that I'm going to have to cut off with sprue cutters. And it's going to be glued into that little square section. I'm going to hold it in my tweezers here just to show you the orientation. There is a tab coming out from the side which needs to point towards the back. But that there is the way that this is going to go. So I'll drop some glue just on that square tab. Get this in my tweezers. And we'll put this into place. And there we go. That's in like that. Then we need part C, which is this painted brown part here, looking like that. So we get that off the sprue. And that's what this piece looks like when it's off. And that's just going to go into the slot that we can just see down the bottom there. So I'll put this in. The little tabs come off there, but I'm just going to make sure this goes all the way through. I don't think it matters what way round it goes. I will check though. I'll try it the other way and I'll see what way seems to be the most comfortable. Yeah, you want it that way, so it fits more upright. If you put it in the other way, it leans over a little bit too much. But we are going to glue this into place. So what I'll do, now I know what way around it goes. I've got some glue. I'm just going to put it around just the fascia of that section there. And that will be enough to keep that into place. Hold it in place for a second. And there you go, that's that in. And then the last section we've got looks just like this. This is a standalone piece. This wasn't on a sprue or anything, but this is just going to go into the sort of indent that we've got here. Now, once again, this is just going to be glued into place around the edge there. So I'll apply a little bit of glue into those areas there. Not too much at all. It's quite symmetrical, so I don't think this one matters what way round it goes. Hold it in place for a second, make sure it's flat. We can put all of that to one side, even though this piece has fallen out. Let's put it back in. Don't want to confuse you. Lots of little working details on that, but we'll put that to one side. Now, we're going to be putting this pin in. So here's the bag, which has got the support and the pin. They look very delicate, I have to say. Now, I don't know. I'm going to use flat nose pliers here because there's less chance of it pinging off in all directions when I do this. Just make sure I've got that in there like that. And basically, it's just going to go through this hole. Now, I'm suspecting this is probably one of the areas that peeps are having a problem with. Does it go in okay? I don't know. Let's have a look. So, oh no, it's quite loose, but it does go in. As you can see, we've got that in that side, and if I hold it there, looking like that. We're going to do that on both of these. So I'll just put that one to one side. Hopefully the pin don't fall out. We'll do the same on the other one. There's the pin through. And then once again, I can just lie that down gently there. We want to bring over what we've done so far of the rudder, because we're going to start putting these in place. Now, with these sections facing upwards, the little L section there, it's probably best to look at the picture facing upwards. We're going to put these into the grooves here. So one is going to go in here, being very gentle. There we go. Oops, it wants to come out. Perhaps this is the part that people are having problems with. They do want to go all over the place. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. Now, to help me out, because this bit's raised up a bit, I am going to put something underneath that. Let's see if this hammerhead might help, because I don't want it to fall down. So I'm going to put the hammerhead on there, so that when I put this in, it's not just going to fall down. So that one's in okay, and now that one's in okay, making sure that they face up. We then got the LED looking like this, which I'm going to need to unravel because we need to put this in. Probably best to put the pins in afterwards, actually, because I think the stresses of pushing this in are going to make them ping out. But the LED is going to go in here, just into this section here, pushing that in. Matter of fact, that's fit quite well, actually. They haven't fallen out yet. And then we've got the tail light looking like this. I'm not going to comment on the shape. I'll leave you to come to your own conclusions about that. But this is just going to go in front of the LED here. Just like that. There. Now we're going to be putting this section on, which is going to hold all of this into place. Now what we want to do first off is make sure that this wire is in this little gap here. Everything seems to be in place okay, but this is going to be held in by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lugs, but it's going to be glued into place. So what I'm going to do, just get my glue stick out here. I'm going to put glue in each one of these. And because we're putting glue in, we're going to want to make sure, just seeing how this goes, we want to make sure that we get this right first time. Because if we don't, we're not going to really be able to part this. So I'm going to be ever so gentle in getting this in. Now I'm not putting much glue on, just enough to hold this into place. It should be good. But I am going to take this very, very slowly. So hopefully, let's see if we can get this right. looks good. Looking very good. Gonna that's that end in. Make sure all of these are in. And when they're in, check that out. Look, they're in there. So we've got this sort of like trim panel here. We've got these which move up and down. No problems at all. The LED through the hole. This section here, no gaps. I think we've done good. So the next detail we want to cut off is just this M1 here. So we get that one off. Now when you cut this off, you want to make sure you've got that little tab just at the end there. And that's just going to go into this recess that we can just see there in front of the other detail that we put on that panel. So this is going to go in here like this, with the tab facing the detail that we put in earlier on. Just like that. Now we're going to want to take off these two square sort of panels here. These two at the bottom are going to be used at a later stage. We're going to need to keep them safe. But I'm going to get these ones off now, because we're actually going to be fitting the rudder section to the tow. So we can see that all right on all cameras. And then what we're going to have is the hooks that we put on here will be going into these side panels here to hold that in. And the tabs that we just cut off are going to be going over the top to keep that into place. But there's a big but here. I think that's going to hold itself actually. Let me tilt the plane just over a touch. And I think that will hold itself in there. Yeah, check that out. But this LED cable here, we're going to want to just make sure that goes underneath the spindle so it can go under the wing like that. All we've got to do then is take one of these little panels that we cut off with a screw, which is one of the PM times 2mm screws, and we're going to fix this into place. So I'll do the top one first. Line that up. And put the first screw in. Perfect. I'll do one on the bottom as well, just to keep that all held into place. And then a screw through this side. Excellent. And then we've just got two more. One on the top, one on the bottom. Whoa! To keep that into place. The cockpit just ejected itself. I'll put that in a second. So there's one. And here's the second one. And there we go. That's in nice and tight. So we should have a flap which will be able to turn both ways there, as you can see that. That's perfect. The LED cable on here. Just put the cockpit back in. Even though this hasn't been attached yet, this is where it's going to go. But that's going to give you an idea of what that looks like. And again, I'm going to just bring over this to the front camera. So now you can see that rudder in place, which looks absolutely brilliant. Was it hard? Because that's all there is to do in this stage. Yes, it was hard, but as you saw, I didn't really have many cuts for that. I think using the hammer just to balance that other hinge on and really going slow. The only cuts I made was because I was going so slow. Otherwise, those pins are going to go all over the place. Your big task on this is to get everything right first time, because once that glue's actually in, you're going to have a nightmare trying to separate that, I'm guessing. So I can see why that's caused a problem for everybody. But what I'm going to do is leave issue 71, 72, 73, 74 for a few weeks now, until I get my next delivery, to be honest with you. And then tomorrow, I'm not sure what we're going to do, but there is going to be a live stream tonight. Now, remember, next week, I'm only here Monday and Tuesday. Then I'm on vacation for another 2 weeks. I know I have far too much time off, don't I? So as I said, there is a live stream tonight, but this will be the last live stream until the beginning of September. So I hope you can all join me on that. But I really do hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.